أن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه تسليما كثيرا أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. The Nabi of Islam told us in an authentic hadith sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إن لكل أمة فتنة وفتنة أمتي المال. Every single group of people who came, every nation who came, they had a fitna. And the fitna of my ummah is money. The fitna of the Muslims is money. It's fitna for many ways. For the most part, everybody who's sitting in this audience, we are those type of people who we're worried about where our money is going to come and how much money we're going to have and how do we manage our money. And we also worry in what state are we going to leave our children in. All of that's normal and natural. All of that's normal and natural. But there are other things that come into the equation that make it a problem. The Prophet told the people, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لا تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة من عند ربه حتى يسأل عن أربع. The 2 feet of the slave is not going to move in front of Allah yawm al-qiyamah until you're asked about 4 things. And one of the things we're going to be asked about is our money. Where did it come from? And how did you spend it? Fitna of money. Some of us have stolen money. Some of us continue to steal money. And some of us plan on stealing money. Some of our existence is based upon, as it relates to money, everything is haram. Everything from the person's wealth is haram. Stealing money has become so much an integral part of people's existence that there are those from amongst us who forgot you stole money. You've misappropriated someone's hard-earned cash, and you're going to be responsible for it, Yawm al-Qiyamah. So today the khutbah is first and foremost to myself, more than anybody here. I have to play over and play back, whose money did I take? Because wallahi, the day is going to come where that money is going to be a problem. So we might as well solve the problem now by making tawbah, by trying to get people their money back and trying to discontinue from being those people who steal money. I'm talking to myself. The fin of this ummah is money. So there are those people who steal money constantly. But in our religion, we've been told, go after money in a beautiful way. Go about the dunya in a nice way, a way with honor, and a way that has been legislated. The Prophet told the people, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لو أنكم توكلتم على الله حق توكله لرزقكم كما يرزق الطير. If you people would just rely on Allah the way you should rely on Him, verily He's going to provide for you the same way He provides for the bird. In the morning he goes out hungry, and then by the end of the day he comes back and his stomach is full, and at least you have an aql. He's not on the level of Bani Adam. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا Bani Adam. Allah has honored Bani Adam, gave him an aql, there's Jannah for him, and so forth and so on. The bird doesn't have that kind of ikram. But if you rely on Allah the way that bird relied on Allah, you're going to be provided for. You don't have to steal. You don't have to cheat. You don't have to lie. You don't have to be a mug. Keep your money halal. Even those kuffar of Quraysh had some sense of ghairah when it came to their religion, of kufr and shirk, and taking care of the Kaaba. When they wanted to fix the Kaaba up, they said, everybody give for your good money. Don't give money from drugs, from alcohol, from prostitution, from a nahib, from riba, stealing. The kuffar of Quraysh came and brought forth the cleanest money that they had, which goes to show this is something that human beings have. It's in the fitrah. Dirty money is a problem. So Allah told Bani Adam in the Quran, he swore by many things, but he only swore by himself in 2 ayat of the Quran. And one of those ayats is about this issue right here. وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. Verily in the heavens is your rizq, your heavens. You are not going to die before you get every single penny that was written for you. And not a single penny is going to miss you by. When a person's mother is impregnated, akramakum Allah, the angel comes and blows into that child, that seed, the spirit of life. And it's written down how much money you're going to make. So this thing about being afraid, Allah promised that in the Quran. You're going to have a fitna in this money. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. Allah promised that. We're going to make you afraid, and we're going to try you with something of being hungry. You're going to be afraid because you're going to lose your life. You're going to lose your money. You're going to lose your property. That's going to happen. But to what point does the Muslim find himself having anxiety where the quality of his life is really terrible because he doesn't know where his money is coming? It's a fitna. If you just had the proper tawakkul on Allah, Allah will take care of you. So from our audience, our masjid, there's the one who's been unemployed for a minute now. So he needs money. Since COVID came, COVID knocked a lot of people off of their economical square. You know how much money I owe these people for council taxes? I don't know where they're going to get that money from. I tell you right here, let them see me. I don't know where you're going to get that money from. But one thing I know is I'm not going to try to die and check out without trying to give these people their money back. And I also know if a person owes someone money and he has ikhlas and he wants to pay him back, Allah is damin and he's responsible for you. There are people in this audience, money is choking them. Al-khanaq. Why? Because of the debts that he has. The bailiffs are soon to knock on his door, are soon to kick his door down. And people are nervous. Rightly so. You owe money. And that's why the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to try to tell the community, don't be a person who goes around borrowing money. Because when you borrow money, it turn you into a liar. You tell the people, I'll pay you. I'll meet you at the masjid. And you know you're lying. I'm going to pay you on this day. You know you're lying. So there's a lot of money. This issue is a big fitna. I'm here to say to you today, give the people their money back. Yawm al-Qiyamah is a big mushkila. There are some people from amongst us who owe people money. The Prophet told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, matlul ghani dhulm. The one who borrowed money from someone and he has money to pay him back and he doesn't pay him back and he's procrastinating is oppression. And dhulm, dhulumat, yawm al-Qiyamah. How in the world are you going to go and make umrah in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? You're going to make hajj this year with your mother and your wife, and you owe that man money. You owe that money. No, you shouldn't go to umrah and hajj. You should come to that man and say, I want to go to umrah and hajj with your money. You give me permission? If he says yes, fabihi wa ni'mah. If he says no, give that man his money back. Your situation is like the lady that doesn't have a mahram. Even if she has the ability to go, it's not wajib upon her. She doesn't have the mahram. You owe Muslims money. Get a man his money back. So throughout the book of Allah, we've been given these stories about people who don't have money to show us, to teach us, Ya akhi, Allah is ar-razaq, dhul quwwatil mateen. Just go about getting the money the right way and don't play games. Right here in this masjid, right here. Someone comes to me and says, here, 50 pounds, put it in the bucket for the masjid. I put it in my pocket and I go out. Man, that thing is burning a hole in my pocket. And I go and use that money and I'm going to burn a hole in my son's stomach, my wife's stomach. Who does that? Stealing from the masjid, stealing from the Muslims, lying to the people. And some people do it tadayyunan. They say we could al-harb khida, al-harb khida. So they want to take money from the non-Muslims to make the non-Muslims weak by taking the dole and lying? إن لكل أمة فتنة وفتنة أمتي المال. Money is a fitna of this community. So we look in the Quran at Maryam. We gave you a khutbah about Maryam a few weeks ago, one of the perfect women in Islam. All of what she went through with having that baby without a father is a dalil. Allah is a razaq. And that what you've been promised of money is in the sama with Allah, la tkhaf. He made that prohibited. Prohibited. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ خِشْيَةَ إِمْلَاقٍ نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُهُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ. Don't kill your children out of fear of poverty. Allah said we provide for you and them. So right now the Muslim lady is pregnant and I don't have a job. So I'm going to abort that baby. I'm going to kill that baby. That baby's risk is out of Allah. Especially if that nikah is a nikah that's halal. As for the sifah, nasallallahu al-afiyah wa salama. Don't kill people. And that's the nature of the sins. One sin leads to another sin, leads to another sin. Ala kullin. Our risk is with Allah. Nobody sitting here is going to miss one penny. Wallahi. You're not going to miss one penny. What are you stressing for? So does that mean that you young people shouldn't try to get educated? Does that mean I shouldn't go to work? No. I do the best that I can, as Allah told Maryam. Go to the tree and shake the tree. After having a baby and you're a woman, shake the tree. Your risk is going to come down. That's a dalil. That's a point. The weak lady who had a baby. It's just your job to get up and work. Don't be a bum. The hand that is above is better than the hand that's below. Just taking money from kuffar. If I have to, I'll do it. Inshallah. I'll do it if I have to. But just to do it, because that's the culture? La. That's a fitna. Don't sell your izzah and your honor. That's our religion. Allah mentioned in the Quran about Maryam. كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب وجد عندها رزقا قال يا مريم أنى لك هذا قالت هو من عند الله إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. Every time Zechariah went to check on Maryam, no husband, she has his baby. Every time he went in there, he found she had the risk. She had fruit that only grow in the summertime. She had it in the wintertime. She had fruit that grow in the wintertime only. She had it in the summertime. Ya Maryam, where did you get this? She said, it comes from Allah. Allah yarzuqu min yasha. Without any hisab. Does that mean that you sit and you just wait for fruit right now? And the woman, I want batik right now. I'm going to sit down and just wait for some watermelon. That doesn't mean that. That means that's a lady who had a baby. Most men are stronger than women naturally, but her risk is Allah. Now I want to share with you, brothers, a person from the Quran, or from the authentic sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because there are many people that the Prophet told us these stories to let you know. Ya akhi Abu Umar, don't be afraid, don't be worried. You don't have money? You don't have money? Don't kill yourself. Don't become desperate and do something crazy. We have a hadith of these people. The lady needed so much money, she was so poor. She went to ask her cousin, can I get help? He said, no, unless you do it with me, do the haram. She said, no way, I'm not doing that. But she was pushed by poverty, where she finally said, okay, let's do it. She didn't want to do that. There are Muslim women right now in the Muslim world, in parts of Africa, in camps, where they have to do that to survive. I'm not here to judge them. That's a fitna. But Allah didn't put us in that situation. But some people find that. And why those stories come? Why those stories come? And there are many. There are many. Allah mentioned in the Quran, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ ما كان حديثا يفترى ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم يؤمنون. These stories are not, they from the best stories. They're not some kalam that the Nabi just made up. These stories, they tell us and they support what went before the Quran and the Torah and the Injil. And these stories explain everything that we need to know. And then it is guidance and rahmah for people who have iman. And you know what's really, really disturbing? I tell you what's disturbing. Some of these stories of Maryam and the RIZQ, Maryam having a baby without a father, a man being in the belly of a whale, Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Some Muslims with an alamat al-istifham, some Muslims have a problem accepting these stories when there are kuffar who believe these stories in their book. And as a Muslim, you can't get it. But then that same person will come and believe in something that is unbelievable. He'll come Muslim and he'll say, you know, I was born gay. I was born as a lesbian. I was born as a homosexual. I'm going to say, really? Well, in our religion that we use to guide ourselves, we say that's not possible. The Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كل مولود يولد على الفطرة فأبواه يهوداني أو ينصراني أو يمجساني. Every child is born with a natural disposition. What's the natural disposition? A man is a man and a woman is a woman. I accept. You chose to be like that. I got that. Don't tell me you were born like that. Muslim come talking that madness. He's going to believe that. I was born. The Quran and the Sunnah make takdeeb of that. You were born a man with the fitrah, natural disposition to look up and to say, La ilaha illa ant. But your mother and your father made you a Jew, a Christian, or Magian. Your environment corrupted you. Your mother and your father helped you possibly to become a homosexual or bisexual. It's your environment. So they'll believe that and don't believe what Allah mentioned in the Quran or the Prophet in the Sunnah. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ إِبْرَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. In their stories is a sign. One of those people I want to bring to your attention, and this is what we have to do, because everybody who is sitting here, there are things that go on in our lives. Myself, especially myself, when I look at what went on in the Quran and the Sunnah, I should be getting strong. I say that happened to him for a reason. I make qiyas. They did this. If I do the same thing, I'll get the same reward, good or bad. And what was collected by Al-Imam al-Bukhari. Al-Bukhari. Abu Huraira said that the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was a man from Bani Israel. The man from Bani Israel came out to Bani Israel and said, I need some money. I need to borrow 1,000 pounds. It's a lot of money. 1,000 Kuwaiti dinars. Dinar today is a lot of money. Just to borrow 1,000 dinar from someone, I need 1,000 dinar, a lot of money. One man said, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. He had money. He said, but I need a witness to bear witness. He said, Kafa billahi shahida. Allah is enough as a witness. He said, you're right. He said, well, give me someone who'll be responsible, guarantor. Something happened to you, I get my money. He said, Kafa billahi wakila. Allah is enough as a guarantor. The man said, you know what, you're right. I'm going to give you this money. And he gave him 1,000 pounds. I got to stop here, because this is not the part of the story that I want. But I have to stop here. That was the religion of the people who went before us. The Yahud and the Nasara. Their religion is not our religion, unless the Quran and the Sunnah أقرهم على كلامي على دينهم. Listen to me very carefully. In our religion, if someone comes to you and say, let me borrow money, it is wajib upon you to write that down. Wajib. The Prophet mentioned, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ثلاثة يدعون الله فلن للأبد لن يستجاب لهم. 3 people make dua. Allah will never answer a man's dua. One of them, he said, a man who gave another man a debt and he didn't write it down. So if someone wants to borrow money from you and they come and say, Sahih Bukhari, come on, don't write it down. That is for the Yahud and the Nasara. But in our religion, the longest ayat of the Quran, ayat to dain, the ayat of debt, commanding us, write it down. That man said, okay. He gave him the money. They agreed when he'll pay that money back. The man got on the boat and went about his business and took the man's money. When the time came to pay his money back, he came back. He started looking for a boat to get back. There were no boats. He wants to get back. There are no boats. He knows the hadith, as we mentioned. Matrul ghani dhulm. The one who has taken money and he has the money and he procrastinates, that's dhulm. You're a zalim, ya akhi. You're walking around, totally forgot about these people you owe them money, having a good time, watching the World Cup, laughing. What are you laughing about? You owe that man money. And some of the people who we owe money, we have complicated their lives and we don't give a damn. What are you talking about? The believer is the one who loves for his brother what he loves for himself. You done jammed the man's life up. Give him his money back. The man tried to get back, no boat. He said, okay, no problem. No boat. During these days, the trains, they were going on strike around Christmas time, the winter holidays. The Muslim comes to the train station, there are no trains. The Muslims start going off, start arguing with the people, telling them how bad they are. Everybody's looking at the Muslim. Why we gotta act like that? You don't know this man's story. He's trying to get back, no transportation. Back then it was more difficult. What do you do? Just be patient. You gotta put the best spin to the situation. You missed the plane? Don't get there fighting them people. It may be that you hate something that Allah has put in it a lot of good. You were not going to catch that train or that plane. Just like that money is not gonna miss you. So that man, he said, oh Allah, that man wanted a witness from me. And I said, Allah is enough. He wanted a guarantor. I said, Allah is enough. He got a piece of wood, made a hole in it, and put 1,000 dinar in that wood and made dua to Allah Azza wa Jal, the Lord of all the worlds. That was the level of iman of some people from Bani Israel. And those people are examples for us. And as a Muslim, wallahi, I love those people from Bani Israel. They're my ikhwan and my akhawat. Those prophets and the messengers, and then the people like this. Show you on the level that some of those people were upon. The Lord of all the worlds. And he threw the money in the water. You know, if you were to do that, that money, that water would just float there and come right back. He threw it and it went away. Did he stop there? No. He doesn't know if that man got his money. He don't know if that man got his money. The man who gave him the money would come out every other day looking for the ship. Where this man who I gave him is my money. He came out this day, he didn't see the ship, and he saw the wood. Some people can't believe this. And that's why Abu Bakr is a Siddiq. And that's why the companions, radiallahu anhum, are the best of this ummah. Because what came out of the mouth of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did not waste 1 second scratching their head saying, how, when, cave, what, they didn't. They just got with the program. And then we're going to believe everything the newspapers say, everything CNN said, every what's up message. We believe all of that. It's in Bukhari and Muslim. How? He went to look for the boat. Nobody came. He saw, let me take this wood for a fire in my house. Wood that's been in water doesn't burn. He knows that. Every Arab knows that. Every African, every person who knows where you get fuel from water, don't let the wood burn. Don't let the wood get water in it. It won't burn. It'll give off a lot of smoke. I'm going to take this for the wood in my house. And then the man finally got the boat. And when he went over, he found that this guy opened up and he found his money. He went to give him his money. He said, I finally found you. The boats, I couldn't get across, this, that. He said, did you ever send me anything? He said, I told you, I couldn't get over. He said, well, Allah has taken care of it. Don't worry, don't worry about the issue. What's the point here? What's the point here? If you have people's money and you intend to give their money back, don't throw no money in no water. Don't do that. Don't do that. But make dua to Allah. Be sincere. 3 people Allah is responsible for. The one who gets married, the young man who got married, he doesn't have a lot of money, Allah is your damin. The second one, the mujahid fi sabilillah. The mujahid fi sabilillah. The mujahid fi sabilillah. I say that 3 times because this word, we got to run away from it in 2023, Gregorian calendar. I said that word 3 times because the Nabi used to speak 3 times and mention it 3 times for emphasis. You go and you make jihad in this religion the right way, Allah will protect you. And the third person that Allah will be responsible, the hifz ilahi, is the one who owes money. You have money, be serious about paying that money back. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى السداد والتوفيق. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. Brothers in Islam, as I mentioned, the vast majority of us, we have financial challenges. You are not by yourself in that. There are some people sitting here, they have 80, 90, 100,000 pounds saved up. They got that kind of cash, and some even more. We say from here, may Allah put barakah in their money. But for the majority of us, we ain't got that kind of money. But you know what? Just like them, we have the Lord of all the worlds. And if Allah is on your side, then you will know happiness regardless of what your situation is. And there are many ways and many things we can do to build our cheddar. Many things we could do. But one of the things I want to mention is what Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Anyone who fears Allah, Allah make a way out for you. And He'll give you rizq from where you didn't expect. And what's the taqwa? Having the tawheed of Allah. And don't make any shirk with Allah. Not with the Nabi, anyone. Don't swear by Allah. Don't swear by other than Allah. Don't be afraid of anybody but Allah. The way Allah has described Himself in the Quran and the Nabi and the Sunnah, we take that, embrace it without asking questions. That's taqwa. Taqwa is praying 5 times a day. Doing what we've been told to do and staying away from what we've been told stay away. A taqwa is having ghairah for your wife and your daughter. Telling them to put hijab on. It's all intertwined and interconnected. And when we fall short of the mark, as we all do, so khutbah is for me before anybody else. When we fall short of the mark, you got to know. Our Lord is a Tawwab, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Al-Latif, Al-Halim, Al-Ghafur. He forgives, wallahi. So may Allah Azza wa Jal put barakah in your efforts and divinely protect everybody and make it easy so that we could pay all of these duyun, and that Allah Ta'ala Razaq, the one who provides for every animal, insect, human being, jinn, all of the angels, everything in existence, may He Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give us the strength and the wherewithal to be on the way of those awliya from the prophets and the messengers, and also those awliya who came from after them, like the companions, Radwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. Aqim as-salat yarhamakumullah.